Alright, for problem number 3, I went over to practice so I can show you one with a leading coefficient. In Certify, I can't change the problem type. So in 3, okay, what we're going to do, we'll get a different marker, is we're going to list the factors of the constant term and the leading coefficient as normal, and I'm going to show you how it works when you have a leading coefficient. So the constant is 12, the leading coefficient is 4. We're going to list the factors of each of these numbers like we've done previously. So of 12, we get 1 and 12, and I'm going to skip some space. And then we get 2 and 6, and 3 and 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 are our factors of 12. And then of 4, we got 1 and 4, and then 2 times 2. So this is our list of factors. So when you start listing all the possible rational zeros, okay, that plus or minus is out there, and we'll have a pretty extensive list. You can go through each number and divide by 1, and then each number and divide by 2, each number divide by 4, or you can just do each number divided by all these and then go that way. They're in increasing order. It doesn't matter, okay? But what I will do is I will just take all of these numbers, divide by 1, all of these numbers divide by 2, and then all of these numbers and divide by 4. Okay, so dividing all of these by 1, we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. We just get everything that's on the top. Alright, now I'm going to divide all of these numbers by 2. So we get 1/2. We get 2 over 1 is 2. Sorry, 2 over 1, sorry, 2 over 2 is 1. We already have 1 listed, so we don't have to do it. 3 over 2 is not. 4 over 2 reduces to 2. We already have it listed. 6 over 2 is 3. We already have it listed. And 12 over 2 is 6. We already have it listed. Alright, so dividing everything by 2, we already have those terms listed. Some of them, the even ones. Alright, now we're going to divide everything by 4. So we get 1/4. 2 over 4 is 1/2. We already have it. 3 over 4, we don't have it. 4 over 4 is 1. We got it. 6 over 4 is 3/2. We got it. 12 over 4 is 3. We got it. Okay, so you don't have to list them twice. So this would be our list of possible rational zeros. Okay, so there's all our whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Alright, now our fractions. So 1/2, and then 3/2. Make sure you separate each number with a comma. 1/4, and 3/4. Okay, so this is how it works when you have a leading coefficient. It's been 1 on the few examples we've done, but here's how you do it when you don't have 1. Alright, so now part 2, we want to use polynomial division and quadratic formula if necessary to identify actual zeros. Alright, so you got a pretty big list, and it's going to take all day to guess and check and try to figure out whether this number is positive or negative. So I recommend graphing it. So go to y equal, clear out what you have. I'm going to type in this equation. 4x raised to the 4th, and then plus 28x raised to to the third, and then plus 47x squared, and then minus 7x, and then minus 12. Alright, so I'm going to graph. Now my graph is kind of zoomed in, so if I go to second window for table set, never mind, not that, second quick. Let me just go zoom 6 and show you the standard window. Okay, so what I did was I went to my window, so just go to window, and I changed my x minimum to just -5. Alright, I changed my x max to +5, and I left the y as they were. So that kind of zooms in on the graph a little bit more, and you kind of see where it's crossing. So starting here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we have a positive 1/2, a negative 1/2, and this is -1, 2, that's -3, and -4. Alright, so those are the numbers I want to try. -3, -4. I'm going to write those down. I'm going to erase this so I can have some more space. -3, -4, positive 1/2, and -1/2. Alright, so these are the numbers we're going to try, as opposed to guessing and checking and trying to figure out which one is actually right. Alright, so we're going to do synthetic division. So we're going to try -3 first. So we have 4 as our first coefficient, 28, and then 47, and then -7, and then -12. Okay, I did check we weren't missing any terms. So from here you always bring the first term straight down. -3 times 4 is -12. Subtract and we get 16. -3 times 16 is a -48. Subtract, we get a -1. -3 times -1 is a +3. We subtract, and we get -4. -3 times -4 is a +12. We get 0. So what we are confirming when we get a remainder of 0 is that -3 is a 0. And then from here you can just continue going with the next number. So now I'm going to use -4. Since that number was a 0, we've kind of reduced it out, and we can just continue going. You don't have to start over with this and do it again. You can just continue going. Alright, so notice this was an x to the 4th. So this is now an x to the 3rd. Okay, and then the next one will be an x squared equation, which I'm going to probably just factor that one. Alright, bring the first term straight down, and then -4 times +4 gives us a -16. This will give us 0. -4 times 0 is 0. Combine these, we get a -1, and -4 times -1 is +4. We get 0. Alright, so there we have it reduced again. So now from here I only have a quadratic, so I'm gonna do this one by factoring because it's difficult to do it with fractions. So I'm gonna just show you how to do it by factoring. So this is 4x squared, that'd be 0, and then -1. Setting this equal to 0 to factor. Alright, so what I'm noticing is a difference of squares. Formula will apply here. Difference of squares. So we can factor this by taking the square root of 4, which is 2x, and then that is 1, and then 2x and 1 again, and 1 with a positive and 1 with a negative. So usually with quadratic, you can either factor it or do quadratic formula. Set each of these equal to 0. Yeah, -1 equals 0. and we subtract 1, so we get 2x equals negative 1. Divide by 2, and I'm running out of room, we will get x equals negative 1/2. So that's one of the numbers that we confirmed up top. And then here I would add 1, so that would give me 2x equals 1, and then divide by 2, and that gives you x equals positive 1/2. So there are our 4 zeros: negative 1/2, positive 1/2, and then negative 3 and 4 that we got from doing synthetic division. Alright, so let's type all of those in. Negative 3, negative 4, and these are in no particular order. They don't have to be, just as long as you get them all. Negative 1/2, and then positive 1/2.